How's it going, folks? Just running around the yard this afternoon and filling up all the wicking trays and barrels and beds and whatnot, because tomorrow it looks like we're going to have 38 degrees Celsius or 104 Fahrenheit. So we need to make sure these beds are filled up. This one here I just filled up, and guess what? I mentioned the other day that I needed to water this one. I don't know, I might have edited it out of a clip, but I forgot to do it with my fuzzy noggin. And the tomatoes down here have really suffered. Some of them look like they're doing okay, but others are looking a little bit worse for wear. But there is a load of fruit that need to come off, and I noticed those two there are looking a bit saggy and soggy. So hopefully the fruit flies haven't got into them. So there's a load down here as well. Hopefully the plant will bounce back. Sort of kicking myself in the butt because it was doing so well. I think what I'll do is just take the majority of the fruit off, even if it's just got a little blush of colour, and let them ripen up in the house, and that'll hopefully take some stress off the plant. And once it bounces back a bit, I might just trim off any branches that are looking a bit manky. But I don't know how many plants are in there. It's sort of growing out over past the ginger bed over there at the moment. I'm just filling up the papaya and turmeric bed, or pawpaw and turmeric. This happens to be the thirstiest bed we have down the back here, and I dare say it is because of the papaya. I could pretty much will top this up every day without fail, but I do tend to leave it 3 or 4 before I fill it right up. Get all the foliage out of the way here. The beauty of having these guys on through the uni seal or any sort of seal is I can lift these up and probably add another 50 to 60 litres in the base here, which I think I might do today. Just have it up a little bit further. It means the bottom layer of soil, probably the bottom 1.5 to 2 inches maybe, will get very wet, but it'll dry out quick smart. These are your Egyptian walking onions nida. Haven't had any flowers on the top yet, but we have been nipping a couple off for the salads and whatnot, just the greens. We haven't been pulling any bulbs out. And the turmeric is going gangbusters, and it's feeding all the local pests. I'll just squish him very quickly. So yeah. What I might do is I might let this bed finish filling up, and then we might pop out the front because I want to ask you a question about my corn out there. I'll be back in a tick. So just out the front now, filling up the reservoir on the corn. As you can see, we've got some tassels up there, but we're not getting any silks down here. All we're getting is this suckerish growth that's coming out, and there's no sign of any corn being formed down in there. They're sort of coming out like a corn cob would, but I'm not feeling anything that's cob-like in there, unless that's it way down the bottom. But I'm starting to think that maybe I've got a dud crop. I have read online that these little suckers, they start with T, I forget what they're called just off the top of my head. I have read on one site that they suggest that it's too much nitrogen in the soil, may cause that. I did add a little bit, but I didn't think I overdid it that much, because the bed was only fed up once. And that was when the first load of seeds went in, and then I just added some compost again for the second round. So I'm just a little bit concerned that, yeah, maybe it was too much. So very, very disheartening. I would have thought that I would have seen at least one plant with some silks come out. So we'll wait and see what happens with that. Bit of a quick update on the rosellas out here. Whoops, just got to move the tap. Sorry about that, folks. I'm also using my hand as a bit of a glare protector for the lens there, so sorry if you see my fingers get into frame. The rosellas have started flowering already, which to my way of thinking is a bit bizarre, because ours have always flowered late summer. So I'm not going to complain though. You know, we're halfway through summer and we're starting to see some decent buds form on there. So we're going to have a bumper harvest. I'm pretty happy with the way it's going. All these little holes in here though are caused by grasshoppers, and they're actually chewing the stems themselves, and the growth tips are falling over. So I'm very annoyed about that, because it's going to make the plants a lot bushier. And as you can tell, it's more than bushy enough. Last seasons they grew a lot taller before they started fruiting, so they're a little bit more sparse in there, and we still had a bumper crop, and there's actually less plants in here this year. Onto the melon, a melon update. I've got one up here that I need to pick this afternoon. I'm fairly sure that little stalk is going to give way if I give it a bit of a tug. And we have 4 left on here. Just move some leaves aside. We've got 1, 2, and then we have this little fellow over here, 3. And then down the bottom here we have number 4. So, you know, we've had a half decent crop out of here for the amount of damage the mildew's done. And I pretty much all gave up on these guys, as you know, while treating the mildew a while back. So this water level's about to overflow. And once that's done, we'll go up and grab the melon, I think. Hurry up. Hurry, there we go. So that bed's pretty much all full. So here we go. We'll check it. Yeah, that's already lifting, so we'll say that's ready to come out. It was held up nicely by the fence there. Oh, I tell you what, this one's nice and heavy. So I'm going to get a nice little feed out of this one. Starting to get a little bit of a split there. Nothing too major. Choice. If anyone does have any ideas on that corn, I'd really appreciate it. Oh, an update on the rodent problem. We've been catching rats down the side of the house, behind the aquaponics and up under that side of the house. So we've caught 2 so far. And they're definitely not natives at all. I didn't think to take a picture. I didn't think you guys would be that interested in looking at dead rats. So thought I'd just show you what I like to do. I like to just tuck this hose down at the base of the bananas there and go down to the tap and turn the timer on to about 10 minutes. That just gives the bananas a little bit of a water. So we'll knock that down to around about, where are we? Oh, that's off. Yeah, between 15 and 10 minutes. So that'll give a fair bit of water to the bananas, give them something to drink. So there you go, folks. There's a little bit of a catch up. And for you folks in southeast Queensland, I hope you stay cool tomorrow, or actually by the time you see this, I hope you stay cool today. Sorry for the bit of a wobble on the camera at the end here. I left the Smoothie Pro down the back. So anyway, I will leave it there. I do hope you're all well and happy, and I will catch you all online. Cheers, folks.